Hello everyone and welcome to week one. This is Greg. This is our week one, week two transition video, and we do these 3 or 4 times during the course. I look a little red, but that's just because of the light in this room. So first week went pretty well. We have 9 people. Looks like everybody's motivated and ready to go, and we're in our groups, so we've kind of got the system down. The first point I want to make tonight is the course has 7 more weeks, and there's a purpose for each week. We have weeks 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And in week 2, which is coming up, we will start to develop our research questions. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. In week 3, we are going to start to operationalize our variables. In week 4, we are going to develop our testable hypotheses. And then in weeks 5, 6, and 7, we'll actually begin doing the statistics and using SPSS and some other tools to do our 2-sample t-tests and our correlations. And then finally, week 8 is our final project. And each one of these weeks develops skills that are needed in the final project, and the final project is a simulated chapter 3 and 4 for a quantitative dissertation. So it doesn't matter now in this part of the program what type of dissertation you're thinking of, but if you're moving into the quantitative realm, this will prepare you very well for starting a dissertation, and some people even use the topics that they develop in this course to roll into the dissertation that they write. So now, this week, the focus is on writing good research questions, and there's a little bit of confusion as to what a good quantitative research question is. There's certain questions that can be answered mathematically, and there's certain ones that can't, and so the research questions kind of start out all over the board, and then we start to kind of hone them in and crystallize them into something we can actually use quantitatively. So there's 3 types of research questions that usually occur. So let me give you the first one. Here's just an example. So the first one is, I'm reading upside down here, is the math ability of 10th graders in Kentucky greater than the math ability of 10th graders in Oregon? So that's a question, and it's a real good question for the following reason. If we want to answer a question like that, we can't answer it directly, but we set up what are called hypotheses to test. So we might want to find out, is the mean SAT score of 10th grade, or the mean math score on the state assessment of 10th graders in Kentucky equal to that of those in Oregon? And if it's not, then we have some evidence for our question. We might look at the number of AP courses that a student has taken in each of the 2 states and use that as a measurement of their math ability. Or we might just look at their GPA. So the reason that this is such a crystal clear question is that the variables are operationalized well. All we have to do is get the samples and measure the variable. GPA, number of courses taken, score on the state math assessment, and so that's one of the most simple types of questions. The next question is a little different. So let's look at our third type of research question. It says, give you a chance to read it there for a minute. Are socially connected students performing better in math than students who are not connected socially? So what's the difference here between this one and the first one? Well, the difference is that socially connected is what is called a construct. And in quantitative research, all constructs have to be operationalized. What that means is we have to find a way to attach a number to the level, to the value of that construct. And of course, the biggest example is IQ. IQ is a construct. Not everybody agrees with the IQ test, but it's the most valid and reliable measurement we have. So you can take an IQ test and you can get a number, and that's your IQ. You might not agree with it. I don't know. I've never done it. Don't plan to. I'd rather sit and solve math problems or watch football or ride my bike. I'm not going to try the IQ test. But anyway, given that people do have an IQ, we can then compare them among groups. We can compare them among states. We can compare them among ages for any reason we want. So we've operationalized the variable IQ. Now, people may disagree with how you operationalized it, but once you've operationalized it, the measurements are pretty standard statistics, and that's where quantitative research comes in. So we will be doing that in week 3, is where we operationalize a variable, and I have a great variable that we'll practice operationalizing. It's called barbecue awareness. And you may not know it, but everybody has a barbecue awareness score that you will receive from taking a survey. And we'll use that as a little practice in our class. The third type of research question, such as this: how do I help beginning teachers improve? Or, how do I become a better math teacher? Now, these are great research questions, but we can't answer them in a quantitative way. I have no idea how you help beginning teachers improve. I have no idea how you become a better math teacher. It took me 25 years. I think I'm reasonably good. I've learned a lot along the way. I truly enjoy it. Not going to stop for a long time. But those questions, how do I, can't be answered quantitatively. And we tend to get a lot of questions like that in week 2 when we do this. So I'll be sending out some examples on good research questions. And the idea is, if you can come up with 3 good research questions now, then you can use those research questions later in the course. In the next week, you will operationalize the variables that answer that question. Then you will develop the statistics to get the answer to those research questions. Now, the whole course is just practice for a chapter 3 or 4, but it's a good idea to try and pick some research questions that you can use throughout the course. And then each week of the course rolls into that final project. So I just want to tell everybody I appreciate your hard work. We're off to a good start, and we're coming up on about 8 minutes. The YouTube videos don't usually work too well if you go too long. Sorry for the quality of it, but week 2 will begin in the morning, and thank you for everything. Have a great evening. Bye.